You know, I'm not going to lie to you folks. I mean, because, you know, who has not, either as a teenager or as a kid or even, you know, around that age range, who has not ever been a fan of Power Rangers, of any incarnation? I will admit that I was, you know, because I did watch them, and let's just say 93 to 95 was pretty much a good year for a fan like me, because you got Power Rangers, and basically within a 1 hour block you had Power Rangers and Sonic. So, being a fan on Saturday mornings was good, and then of course you had Power Rangers on the weekday mornings as well. But, you know, it's surprising to me that it's been 20 seasons now, 20 years since we've had Power Rangers. Now I know the Super Saiyan series that it's based on, or it's been adapted from, and translated from, you know, it's been going on a little longer. There's no doubt about that. But, you know, for a fan like me, you know, going through that period, I mean, heck, I was only like 14 years old when this show came out. And really didn't get into it much until about 15. So, yeah, it's been about that long. But to, you know, to see how much it's gone through, to see the many different incarnations that have come and gone, it's really amazing. And yet, even though it's the 20th edition, 20th year, 20th season, 20th Power Ranger team, if you will, or whatever you want to call them, 19th Power Ranger team, we still have 3 more to go. Yeah, we still have 3 more Ranger things, shows, probably Super Saiyan series, to possibly be adapted over to here. And, you know, I know everybody looks at MegaForce, and it's based off, I mean, I saw the Super Saiyan. I saw the original Super Saiyan version. And basically, you know, one person was asking this question when MegaForce was debuting, was just about to a few weeks or a week, basically about a few weeks before MegaForce debuted. They were asking that since this one is based off, I think, the 2010 edition of the Super Saiyan series, the question was, how in the world are they going to reenact this huge, you know what I mean, huge Power Ranger battle scene that obviously is going to be the grand finale? It's like, how are they supposed to reenact that? Because like I said, it's supposed to be the grand finale, and basically I think the way it looks like to me is sort of going to lead into the next one, which is going to be pirate related. Yeah, pirate related. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that here, but anyway, the question is, how are they going to do this? And because you gotta look at it this way. Our Power Rangers are way different than the Super Saiyan originals, than the original stuff they've been based on. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. I mean, heck, they went as far as to make a movie based on our version of Power Rangers. Yeah, a movie. Not saying that the Super Saiyan series hasn't had their own movies. I'm not saying that. I mean, every series that comes out, they have one. I mean, Turbo pretty much is an original movie, but I think it has some Super Saiyan footage in there too. But like I said, this was basically all original. The point is, ours, just like when an anime comes over, there are certain scenes and lines of dialogue that are changed and switched, plots that are kind of, you know, like edited around to be different than what you would see in its original format or its original version. The same with the Power Rangers. Everything here is switched around. I mean, because, you know, here's how it's switched around, and I literally mean switched around. You basically basically we've had different Red Rangers, different Black Rangers, different Yellow Rangers, and that was out of the first season of, and those were like the first, and that was out of the first season and a half of Mighty Morphin. And what's even more crazy about this is one thing that this fan brought up was you had Tommy, Jason David Frank's character of Tommy Oliver. Now Tommy pretty much represented green, white, Red Ranger Zeo, Turbo Ranger Zeo, Black Dino Thunder. You had 5 different Rangers represented by Tommy. And that was the one question this person had was, how in the world are they going to be able to get all those characters together? How are they going to get the Green Ranger version of Tommy to be side by side with the White Ranger version? How are they going to get the Red Zeo one to be side by side with the Turbo? Well, the Turbo one apparently will be taken by TJ, so that's no problem. That's no problem. But then again, you know, you have TJ going to Blue Ranger and Space Rangers. I mean, pretty much the biggest difference is, I think, all the Power Ranger teams that came, that were always being around after Mighty Morphin, were always a different team. After Zeo, you know, in pretty much the first few episodes of Turbo, it was a different team. Kind of get what I'm saying? And I'm sure the same with Space in Lost Galaxy. All different teams. And you see that's where this one individual is looking at like it's going to be confusing. It's going to be confusing because all these teams are different in Japan. How are you going to get them to work together in the possible grand finale for MegaForce? How are you going to do that? And my obvious thought on this, and I'm sure anybody else has thought of this, is the best way they're going to do that is through a lot of editing. Either they're going to have to do a lot of editing, or they're going to have to come up with something that's going to really, you know, if you're a Power Ranger fan, blow your mind. Because there is, according to kidscreen.com or .org, kidscreen.org or .com, whatever it is, a lot of historic Rangers are coming back for this. No doubt. And again, it's either going to take a lot of editing, or it's going to take a heck of a story arc to bring it all together. My only solution could be time travel. That's the only way you're going to get all these historical teams together for this grand finale, including the very first ones that were never adapted here. Yeah. Try explaining that. Try explaining, oh, by the way, here come these Power Rangers that are dressed like bugs. Yeah, try explaining that. Try explaining that to, you know, Jason. To Jason and all the Mighty Morphins, except for the girl that played Trini, who passed away, who can't think of her name right now, but the girl who played Trini, who died in that car crash, with the exception of her, I'm guessing they'll probably find somebody to replace her that is identical, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, to me, it's like, how are they going to do this? Because this is going to be something that I'm sure they're thinking, okay, they got this grand finale, fans are pretty much know that this is adapted from Japan, and they're going to expect this. How do we do it? The obvious answer is, like I said, either you got to come up with a time-traveling story, or you got to come up with, take a lot of time doing a hell of a lot of editing, because I don't know how you do it either. Because think about it. Think about it this way. Like I said, you're going to have this one Power Ranger team that obviously is like the very first Power Ranger team, dressed like bugs, coming in. I mean, seriously, you're going to have the Mighty Morphins wondering, who the heck are they? Because they pretty much met all these other newer teams. And they're going to be like, oh, well, we're the very first Rangers. Huh? I thought we were. Oop. Lost in in the calculation, or lost in the translation or something. You know. And again, though, it is a very good question. How are you going to make this work? Now, I know Japan, I know a lot of American studios and international studios, if you will, have pretty much found ways to work around these kind of situations. But if you know a fan base that's been fans of Power Rangers for almost since the beginning, or at least have kept some interest in Power Rangers since the beginning, you know that they're going to expect this. You know they're going to expect this big battle. You know, it's like when you do an anime. Let's go back to that. It's like when they do an anime, they know that these true anime fans have seen clips, if not seen the original version of an episode when it was aired in Japan. Studios know they're gonna expect something similar to what they see in the original. But when they don't, and they see certain things edited out, they're gonna be like, what's going on here? I mean, heck, there was the episode where in Sonic X where Eggman, Shadow, and Rouge ended up on this planet where Shadow and Rouge met the character Molly in the 3rd season. The beginning of that episode, as crazy as it sounds, had Rouge in a bubble bath. Literally. And Rouge began the episode in Japan and in Europe began with Rouge in a bubble bath being basically bossing Bo-kun around, and then something shaking, and suddenly she and Bo-kun accidentally, because of the shaking, end up being submerged under the bubbles. And yet that was cut out. For what reason? You know? I mean, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I don't think anybody else saw things wrong with it. And there have been other scenes with things like Sonic X and Yu-Gi-Oh! That have been cut out, and people will look at the comparisons and be like, what was so wrong with it? What was so different? You see, the point is when they expect maybe these little tidbits from the original to possibly be in the American version, and they're not, they wonder why. And that's exactly what I'm pretty sure Nickelodeon and Saban Studios are working on right now. They're figuring, how are we going to get this grand finale to work when mostly the American version of Power Rangers have been almost the same teams over and over again for the first few years. Like, okay, you know, we've had Turbo go to space, blah, 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 and stuff like that. How are we going to do that? How are we going to explain that we have the character of Tommy Oliver in all these situations? How are we going to do that? You see, that to me is going to take a lot of planning, a lot of editing. I'm sure they're doing that as we speak. But again, it's going to be mostly like, how in the world are they going to pull it off? That's the question. And that's the question I pose to you. I mean, I admit I haven't watched Power Rangers that much in quite some time because, you know, I just haven't. And let's face it, nothing can really compare to like the first 4 or 5 seasons. But again, I ask you. I throw this question to you guys as I check my time here. Like I said, nothing compares to the first, few teams like Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Turbo, In Space, Galaxy, Time Force, and Wild Force. But the thing is, I pose the question to you, how do you think it's going to be accomplished? How do you think they're going to get this done? How do you think they're going to pull this big finale that pretty much everybody that's seen the original Japanese Super Sentai version has seen? How do you think Saban and Nickelodeon are going to try to pull it off? Let me know what you guys think. I ask you that question. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys' opinion is of it. And I'll talk to y'all later.